Okay, we are recording for English 103. And today, I really don't have a really long lecture for you. We are still in the beginning stages of our final unit, which is the informative research essay. So before we talk about this week's items, I do want to remind everyone that every week, but all the way through Moodle, there is a resource section. And in those resources, you find tons of links to resources that will help you, that you should read and review in order to incorporate things within your essay either properly or just to improve the way you are doing it. Now, as you know, on our Moodle page, right now we are in week 10. So we're in week 10 this week as of this recording, which is November 9. So this week is week 10. All the prior weeks are always left open for you. I never take anything away. So everything from week 1 to 10, you still have access to. You just need to go back to the week. If there's a particular item that you're like, oh yeah, the ACT thing, go back into that week. I think it was contained in the Jib Fowles one. And you can, I think it was week 7. You can go back and review those particular sources, but we've also tried to have ongoing resources, things we think you're going to be using in this essay in some way, shape, or form in the current week. So you'll see things repeated. So, and we did that deliberately to give you easy access to things. But I guess let me give you an example. In resources, the first thing this week is informative research instructions and rubric review. So as you know, I already went over this. I already went over the instructions. We gave you a video on a week prior, but maybe you don't want to go back and hunt for it. You can hot link it right in the current week, no problem. The other resources that are beneficial. So for example, quoting, you know, you're going to have to do heavy quoting in this essay. So maybe you're not really strong on incorporating those quotes or using the 3 I's, that type of thing. Then we've given you some resources to read and review within this week to kind of beef up on this. And this quoting handout provides you with a 3-step process, right? The 3 I's. You've heard me call it the quote sandwich. And remember, anything in green is a link to something. So it'll be either a link to a web page or to a document. So for example, I clicked on that one. There it is, the 3 I's. It talks about in depth, although I have certainly mentioned this. Do read and review. Part of this class is for you to be reading and reviewing. That is how you get information. Not everything is contained in lecture. And so when we have assigned things to read or we have provided resources, we are expecting you to be using them, reading them, and going over them. The other resource, again, if you are still struggling with your topic, you are maybe trying to research, trying to figure out, narrow it down, those kinds of things, we are really coming into a critical point where you got to get this done because you can't start researching unless you have a topic. So this is kind of an activity to walk you through the research question webbing and selecting a research topic, as well as Lucky 7 for informative research, which gives you direct steps to follow if you are trying to still figure out your topic. Now, this week, you're going to have to narrow that down. That's going to be one of your activities. The other thing in resources is example readings and tips for reading difficult articles. When you are doing your research this week in particular, you may have some higher level articles that you're not used to reading, mainly scholarly articles. because a lot of them are found within the database. So we've provided you with tips. Hey, these are things to be doing while you're reading, before you're reading, after you're reading type thing. Okay. Uh-oh, sorry, I just clicked out of there. My bad. I apologize. So let me go back into our Moodle page. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute now. And we were in, I'm pretty sure, week 10. So let me get back there. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking next about the activities that we're doing this week in week 10. That was just a really kind of a plug for you to make sure you are reading and reviewing. When we give you the things to do, so if you look every week, it has a task list. What are the 4 things you should do this week? You'll notice one of them almost always says read and review the resource section, all items in the resource section. So in this case, it's telling you these are pages in our textbook that may be helpful to you. We have, believe it or not, 2 textbooks, both are electronic. And again, they're hot linked to those pages. And then don't forget, we also give you sample essays if you want to review what a finished essay might look like. So let's talk activities and assignments for this week. So the first thing is the topic selection worksheet. So now everything this week we are building, we're scaffolding. These assignments are created specifically to help you build your base so that when you go to do your drafting, it should be as easy as possible for you. So it's very important that you complete them to the best of your ability. Don't just go through the motions, because they're meant to help you in your final drafting. So as you work through this worksheet, you may want to review accessing the database tutorial, because remember, your topic has to have enough information from reliable, credible sources. Not every source is credible, and that's a flaw often with internet sources. If you find sources from the database, you know that they will be credible. But I don't need to go over the databases with you again. That was a video that we provided for you. But let's walk through the worksheet really quickly. So in this topic worksheet, you're going to answer the questions, and this demonstrates that you're kind of choosing a topic and direction that will be appropriate for your paper. So I'm going to talk about the 4 parameters of the prompt. Remember, those were in the instructions. It cannot be controversial, right? You have to have enough sourcing. You are giving new information, those kinds of things. I'll go over that again before we leave. So again, number 1, what's the main topic? What's the big topic that you want to focus on for the paper? And then within that topic, number 2, within that topic, what particular aspect are you going to focus on for your research? What are you going to read about? So to take kind of a simplistic one, maybe your topic is memory loss. You decide you want to inform the reader about memory loss. Well, question number 2, what aspects, what direction are you going to take with memory loss? What are you going to inform the reader about regarding memory loss? And I would recommend probably at least 3 things. So maybe you want to talk about symptoms or causes of memory loss. Maybe you want to focus on types of memory loss, and maybe you want to focus on treatments for memory loss. Or maybe you want to go the other direction and focus on a specific kind of memory loss. Maybe you want to focus on Alzheimer's. And then, okay, what are you going to tell the reader about Alzheimer's? Okay. So then in number 3, what sources have you already found in the database to ensure you have credible research? So if you cannot find anything in the databases regarding the areas of your topic you want, you have a problem. You need to pick a new topic. And then number 4, what interests do you have in this topic? What is your interest? Why are you choosing this? I want to see what link does it have to you. Maybe you had family members with that topic. Maybe you just have a hobby that is that topic. Maybe you just want to learn more about it because, I don't know, maybe it's been in the news or something. Number 5, what biases do you already have about the topic? If you don't have any biases, no problem. You can say I have no biases, but if you do have biases, please acknowledge them. Again, it's not a stopper to your research. You just need to be aware of your biases so that you can look at research information through an accurate lens. And then number 6, what do you already know about this topic? So tell me everything you already know, at least 3 things, 3 pieces of information you already know, even before you start researching. So that is the first worksheet that you are working on this week. Basically, what I'm telling you is by Sunday, when you submit this, you should have your topic and the areas of your topic you're going to cover in your essay. Okay? So again, I want to go back to resources. Remember, we have items in here to help you. So topic selection resources. If you're having trouble choosing your topic, there's a video that talks about research question webbing. This is an activity you can do to kind of help yourself narrow down what elements of your topic might be good to cover, okay? And then the lucky 7 steps, I want to show you this one because this gives you some straightforward thinking steps for you to complete. So if you are in just the beginning stages of your topic, start with a basic search. Remember, you're still kind of brainstorming. It's half brainstorming. You want to get an understanding of your topic in order to research it well. You don't want to just randomly Google for your research, and you don't want to just randomly do searches in the databases. It is often a very frustrating experience. If you have a core understanding of what you're looking for, you can choose better search topics. So get just a base core understanding. Okay, what do I need to know about this topic? And then I call it an umbrella. Within that umbrella, step 2, you're going to write down words or phrases associated with your topic that you might want to begin searching in. So what are things that are associated with that topic? And those are some of your search terms. So when you're pulling that up in Google, it'll give you more accurate results. Write down what you find. Make sure you take some kind of documentation, things like websites and authors, so that you can easily get back to it if you want to do a deep read. And then after you're done, now this is all, by the way, this is all just surface, or what I call surfing. You are still just surfing about topic or your topic of interest. After you've kind of done your surfing, you've got an idea of search terms, you've surfed for a while using some key terminology, you've kind of informed yourself a little better. Develop a research question. And this question is what's going to guide you with your research and what information you need to find about. So the questions need to be open-ended and they cannot be answered simply. Now, the best ones are kind of like how, what, who, when, why, the 5 areas of journalism. Then now is where you want to go into the databases and using your research question as your guide and your search terms that you've developed, start reading and start looking at articles that will match what you're trying to find out. We recommend ENGL is the one to start in, that database. That's the one we showed you on. If you didn't know topic, there was also a video on it. As you are reading articles, make notes of new words or new terms associated with it that you weren't aware of before that may help you refine your search. Remember, you're probably not going to get exactly what you want on your first search. It may take multiple searches and you want to refine it. And then look in other databases. Databases like ProQuest or ProQuest Central are huge databases. So you will really need to work on refining your search with some key terminology and using those Boolean operators to get you effective results that so you don't get like 35,000 of something, okay? So remember, you're not just searching a word, not just searching a short phrase. You may also want to use those Boolean operators, and keep in mind, you might want to use synonyms. Synonyms are words that mean the same. So if you don't find a search using your word, think of a synonym to put in the search instead. Let me think. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know. What is a synonym? What is a search? I can't think off the top of my head. It's too early in the morning. But oh my goodness. Okay, maybe you want to know things about. Oh, I cannot even think. Ugh. Okay, sorry. Oh, cat. Okay, I'm just gonna go basic. Maybe doing research on cats, right? You can't find what you want using terminology cat. Think of another word for cat, feline, right? So use that synonym in your research, in your search terms. That may help you. Sorry, it's way early on a Monday morning and I'm having trouble thinking apparently. Okay. So the biggest, so pillage what you find. In other words, the bulk of your time you are reading. You're reading and researching. Do not stop at the first one you find. You want to find as much as you can, make note of it, and pillage, which means write down what you think you might use, make note of any quotes you may take, any of those, but you're doing a lot of reading at this stage. Now, the other item I want to kind of tell you about is when you are searching the databases, you try to find stuff on your topic. One of the best resources you can use is Jennifer Zimmer. Jennifer Zimmer is a reference librarian, and this is her job. She's an expert at utilizing those databases. And quite often, if you can't find what you are looking for your topic, if you reach out to her, she will help you. And she's so good, quite often, she will do a search for you and give you some recommendations that may work really well. My students rave about her. They say she is excellent. I know her personally. She is outstanding. I go to Jen when I'm searching for things and I can't find it. That is her expertise. In mainly, she not only knows what's in what database, but she also is great at terminology and giving you suggestions. So my recommendation to you is if you're having trouble finding things in the database or you can't find it, reach out to her. Now remember, you should remember how to reach out to her, but if not, you can always send her an email, jzimmer@swmish. But in our, let me see, I don't have it up. In our SMC Wired page, sorry, I'm bouncing around here. On the main page, go to library resources and that click ask a librarian. That's an email to her. You can email her directly through Gmail, or you can go into library services and click on ask a librarian. So the topic selection worksheet is not difficult. It's really more about think time and for you committing to what topic you're going to go for and what areas of that topic you're going to cover within your essay. The second one, summary assignment, is meant for you to start building information that you may use for your draft. So in this particular video, it says you'll find the quoting sources in your research paper resources page. So remember, that's a resource. Example readings, these are all resources that may help you complete this particular activity. But essentially, this particular worksheet is asking you to look at two sources. So in your research, you have found two sources within our databases that are related to your potential topic. Now, do not just pick random sourcing on this in the databases. Make sure these are ones you're like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to use this in my essay. This is a great source. I'm going to use stuff from it. Because if you do a good job on these summary activities for these two things, you will take from this worksheet and use it in your drafting. So make sure you are spending the time and not just randomly filling in the worksheets. So for this worksheet, it's pretty self-explanatory. Source one, you're gonna do the same thing for both sources. You give me the author, and I want the full name of the author. I want the credentials of the author. If the article does not give you the credentials of the author, then search it. Google it, look, do some research. You cannot just give me the author without telling me, okay, what are the credentials of this author that you're going to use? Credentials means, okay, why are they an expert on whatever they're writing about? Okay. And then I want the full title of the article. Okay. And I want you, when you give me the title of the article, you need it in quotes. If it's a book, then you put it in italics. I want you to start practicing this because that's works cited stuff. So give me the actual title of the article that you're using from the database. Keep it in quotes. If it's a book you're using from the database, then put it in italics. And then the last thing is a summary of the article. Now, the summary are the main points that you're going to use from this article that you feel the audience needs to know. Okay, so in other words, these are the items that you're going to be including, or this is information you may be including from the article. So you're summarizing this article. This is a minimum of 6 to 7 sentences, minimum of 7 sentences here. And I want them college level sentences. You're demonstrating that you not only understand the article, but you're giving a summary to the reader so that literally through reading your summary, I get a really good idea of that article and what is contained within that article. Does that make sense? Word of caution, make sure you use your own wording in the summary. Do not just copy paste from the abstract, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing for source 2. So for 2 sources, you will have author, what their credentials are, title of the article that they wrote, and then a summary of that article. Remember, I want the title done properly. So if it's a title of an article, make sure you put it in quotes. And if it's a title of a book, make sure you use italics in this section. So that is the second worksheet. So as I said before, this is not, the worksheets themselves are not difficult. They're pretty short. However, your time this week is spent in researching and reviewing and going over information. You need to make sure you do a really good job on the topic selection one. That you will get feedback from me, a yes or a no. You know, my comment will say something like appropriate topic, or I might say, no, choose another topic, or you did not give me sufficient areas that you're going to narrow down or focus on within your topic for the essay or within the essay. So I will give you feedback on that one. The summary assignment will be a grading, and you've either met my criteria or you have not. And I'll make comment if there's an issue. Be aware you want to do a good job on both of these. They're leading in, helping you for your drafting. So with a summary assignment, if you do a really good job on this, literally you've got 2 sources and you've got a lot, 2 huge amounts of where you're going to contribute to your essay. Because remember, this essay is about half summarizing, citing, using sources, and your writing is kind of gluing it together. All right, that is all I have regarding activities, assignments, and resources. Couple housekeeping things. One, as I said before, we are in week 10. For those of you in doing face-to-face courses, we meet one more time next week, and then we will be going asynchronous, which means totally online. And I will no longer be asking you to join me synchronously at any time. In other words, I'm not going to require you to log into Zoom at a particular time as a class. However, you are the office hours, you can pop in during office hours, obviously via Zoom, and you can request a meeting with me via Zoom Live. Happy to do that on whatever works for your schedule. One of the things I really want to kind of emphasize is you make sure you're starting to get stuff in on time. Late work, I get less and less gracious with. The scoring doesn't change. I mean, I still give you the same amount of credit with late, but, or I should say late penalty applies, just see the syllabus. However, as things build and we get closer and closer to the essay, time becomes an issue. So remember this essay, the final submission for this essay, I do not allow late. So you are definitely going to want to be in a good place so that you can submit it within the timeline within that window.
When is the essay due?
The essay is not due. I don't have my stuff in front of me right now, Lucas, but
I guess it's not due until like somewhere in December.
yeah, it'll be due early December, somewhere around like the 7th. I would have to look at the exact date.
Ready.
You know what? It's a good question. Let me look really quick. Let me get out of student mode. I'm going to return to my normal role. And I can tell you right now, week 14. So informative research essay submission, week 14.
So
Oh, I don't have the date in there yet. So let me look at the calendar. We're in week 10 right now. 11 is the 16th, 12, 13, 14. So I was right. The week of the 7th, December 7th, that week. So I try to adhere to the same criteria. So it's due this week, which means the due date would most likely be December 13th, no later than midnight. That's a Sunday. Okay. Good question. All right, let's go back to week 10. I think that's it for recording. And of course, I will take questions and concerns, but I am going to stop recording at this point. I just noticed Ethan had that. So Ethan, oh, he's connecting to audio. So Ethan, let me know when you can hear me. I see that you're connecting to audio. Of course, if you can't hear me, it's tough for him to. Let's see, I'm going to do chat with him. Okay. So Ethan, did you hear class session? Okay, he lost audio, so I don't know how far. So what I'm going to do for everybody else is I will stop recording and I'm going to still stay in class, obviously, for those of you who are live or face-to-face. Okay. Let me do stop recording. Hold on. Stop recording.